My name's Eric, aka EGS Warrior. What I go by in game, what I go by my YouTube channel, also my Twitch channel. Today we're going to go over the what, why, and how on the importance of leveling for a massive multiplayer online role-playing game, otherwise an MMORPG. That includes World of Warcraft, Guild Wars, Black Desert Online, and another popular one is Final Fantasy XIV. Let's get right into the video. Leveling, that is the question. Is leveling important in an MMO? I want to say yes. The point I want to get across to you guys is yes. Leveling in an MMO is important. Just like movies, books, video games, any kind of video game, book, or movie. You can't just skip the beginning part and go straight to the middle of the game for your first time playing. It is important that you learn the game because it is an RPG, a role-playing game. The point of the game, or an RPG, is to role play as that character, which in a sense, if you're going to role play, you can't just go to the middle of the end of your character where he's as powerful as he can be or as strong as he can be to go fight whatever you want him to fight. So I think it's really important you build that character up like MMOs and RPGs are supposed to do. Giving players a character boost ruins the beginning part. No one in a book tells you to skip the first chapter. You need the first chapter to understand the rest of the book, or else you're just going to be confused about certain things. The same thing with a game. We're going to go through 3 parts of the leveling process that I think are important. So that way we get a broad scope of what the leveling process is all about, and then at the end we'll bring it all together and we'll give our final answer of yes or no, and why. Okay, so the first part we're going to go into is understanding the game UI, how the game works, the very basics of the game. Just imagine you boost your character, or they don't give you level, you're just max level already, right? You get into the game, there's all this stuff on the screen, and you're like, what is that? Why is this there? And what does that do? It's very important that you learn the game and it gradually and slowly comes to you. For example, one game, it's not an MMO, but let's say I'm playing Final Fantasy VII. And right away, they give me all the summons, all the materia, a chocobo, and a bunch of abilities. Am I going to know how to use all that? What is materia? Why do I have summons and which ones are good? And what spells are these that I have that are good? And is it better for this character to have spells or better for that character to have spells? Same thing with MMO, and it could be really any. Black Desert Online, Guild Wars, and 2 that really are culprits of this are Black Desert Online, kind of, Guild Wars, and also World of Warcraft. I said 2, but there's actually 3. Guild Wars 2 is one that I hadn't played much, and recently I've started playing. And what inspired me to make this video is I used a level 80 boost on a Tempest. I was on even level 3. I was like, oh, I could just skip all the content, and I can go to the real juicy stuff. I get into this place, and it's like a volcanic eruption. You'll see here, it's just a random place with a bunch of stuff on the screen. And I walked around, shot a few abilities, and ultimately decided I'm going to give up on this level boost. They actually allow you to stop it, so I cancel it out. And I just started leveling a Tempest. I played World of Warcraft for a long time. I've hated level boosts since they come out. I just never agreed with them. So understanding the game, for example, and why it's important, is these people who level boost World of Warcraft, Guild Wars, they go into the game, they have no idea what they're doing. World of Warcraft, you're not going to know what each button does. You won't know what action bars are. You won't know there's key bindings. Although the game doesn't show you that, it's important that you find that out on your own without being thrown into a fiery pit. So you won't know when you're fighting these monsters that have better abilities and are stronger in Battle for Azeroth, that keyboarding, backpedaling may be bad. It may not be good. You don't know certain UI changes or, you know, how to fight these monsters. You haven't struggled yet. You're just thrown into a fiery pit. And I believe that leveling is important because it teaches you these small things that other MMOs, you know, that leveling boosts don't. The second part I go over, and I always think is an important part of the leveling process, is the exploration part of an MMO. Sure, you can explore the world at any level. It doesn't matter, you know, whether you're level 1 or level 120, 80, whatever MMO it is in there. You can go out and explore the world whenever you want. But you don't fully appreciate the world and what's in it if you don't level. For example, when I was playing Guild Wars, I've learned that these monsters that may be only in the beginning part, that you only will see at level 10, level 5, you don't learn to appreciate them. You don't look at the small details, you know, as you're flying over a monster, for example, in Battle for Azeroth, when you have a mount, you don't look up close to those monsters and the beautiful artwork and everything that they're made for. You don't appreciate the barren wasteland that sets a tone for your orc warrior who's been in the dirt for his entire life, and now he has a chance to go out and become, you know, a hero of the horde, you know, a warrior that could die gloriously in battle. You know, the world will set that tone as an exploration part of the leveling process. Going out and seeing these zones as you're going through it. There was a great series of Swak Wictus from Uber Danger, where some videos he just went and ran around as he leveled. You don't really do that as you get a higher level. You tend to just do the things that other people are doing. For example, dungeons or raids or whatever your MMO has as endgame content. You don't care about the world. You're really just kind of caring about the things you're doing in the endgame. You know, the leveling process helps you with falling in love with that world. Like World of Warcraft, I couldn't imagine it if I wasn't able to go out and explore it as a young, you know, kid at a low level warlock who, you know, was just wanted to dot up the world. But when I ran into a waterfall after I've struggled on monsters, you know, it really sets that tone of, wow, this is awesome. You know, you also don't see what certain events in the world have caused. For example, if you just level boosted in World of Warcraft and you didn't do the leveling part in certain zones, you wouldn't know what certain zones are like. Mr. Pandaria before the end of MOP was a beautiful zone that you had to fight these rock creatures or these statue creatures. And then at World as a Draenor, yeah, they changed it, and now they're changing it back. So if you level now, you'll see that beautiful zone, and then you'll go, and if you boost, you'll never see that beautiful zone. It's important during the leveling process because you don't see the changes in the world. If you boost, you see what the world after everything's happened. The leveling shows that. For example, Garrosh, during the leveling process, it shows you him going crazy. But it does not show you that if you boost. You don't see how Garrosh dies if you don't level, because of Warlords of Draenor, he gets killed. It's important that you see that part go through. And the third part I go over is story. Leveling is extremely, extremely important. I think by now this third part, you'll see it's important. It's needed in MMO. But I want to close the deal on probably one of the most important parts, and there's another part that I'll go over after this that's probably a little bit more important. But story is so important in an MMO, in a game. You want to know why you're here in this setting and why this game was created. Like what is your character and what is he here for? It's important in almost any game. it's even more important in the leveling process. The leveling process shows you small bits of the story. Sure, you sit there and you find out Mankirk's wife in World of Warcraft died. You have to go look for her. Well, what great story. But that creates a setting. It creates a position in the world you are in. You don't know what World of Warcraft is like. But Mankirk's wife went off one day to go look for food or something and died out in the random middle of nowhere. And that sets a tone that the world is dangerous and that you are a hero. You know, that's important. Guild Wars 2, you know, I'm going through and I'm doing these small little story quests. I understand who my character is and what the world is and why this world is here and what's the problem that I'm going to solve. It sets that foundation for the game. If you boost, you get to the end of the game and you kind of understand these characters, but it's hard to understand why they got there and how they got built up. I was just talking about Garrosh. You don't, through the leveling process, if you're on Horde, you can see why he went crazy. And then you can see how hard it is for Thrall to kill him. Because you won't know this kind of stuff if you're not playing the beginning parts of the game. You miss out on the stories. You go straight into the big story that needs all the little stuff, just like a book needs its first chapter. As I said before, you wouldn't skip the first chapter in a book. You would lose out on the story. You wouldn't understand some things. The same thing with story and leveling. It's very important. You don't want to be in the middle of a zone and not even know what this zone is. You don't want to be somewhere random and be like, what is that monster and why is it here? And obviously in some video games, stuff is just randomly there to be there. Oh, excuse me, I'm dying. Yeah, obviously stuff is randomly there to be there. You see a random monster pop up out of nowhere, and he's just there. Like the giant shark in World of Warcraft off of Timeless Isle. You're just like, what is that even there for? But you still learn a lot of the story and the side characters. The next part, I didn't really mention in the beginning, and it's not a big part, but it is very important, is building that bond with your character, that immersion, the feeling you get when you've been through hell with something, and now you become resilient and ready to take on the world. That's why it's so important, and that's why the bond is so important. You want to build that character up and make it better. When you get a title, a mount, something amazing to show off on that character, you feel the bond you have with it and how happy you are you got it on that character, because that character, you've fought with it, you've died with it, you know, it's gone through so much hell with you. You feel invested, invigorated, and feel like everything's worthwhile if you get to the end game and experience the first chapter. And that's why leveling is important. You really understand the game. You get to see the world, and you get to understand the story and why you're there. It's very important. And in the end, you feel a bond with your character that will make you play that game and remember the experiences and memories that you've made throughout leveling through whatever MMO you have. So that's it for the video, guys. This is my first YouTube video. I'd appreciate any feedback. I know I tend to go on rants. I don't stare at the camera like most people, and my mic my mic skills and talking skills may not be the greatest. But go ahead and follow me on Twitter. The links are below in the description. I'm just gonna say it's EGS Warrior on everything, really. And again, my name is Eric. I'm gonna be coming out with more MMO content. I'll probably be putting out some videos of games I play on stream, like R6 videos, For the King, which is an amazing game, and other videos soon to come. I'm going to be working hard on a lot of content for you guys. So if you can hit that subscribe button, follow my Twitter, Twitch, and I'll put a Discord in the description so we can talk about MMOs. And I will see you guys later.